There was a bunch of news with Death Stranding over the week. So they basically officially gave us a release date and showed off another trailer that doesn't reveal any new information, but it's
For Death Stranding. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, we should watch it.
So as someone who doesn't want to know anything more about the game, is this not going to tell me anything more about the game?
No.
Okay, I might as well watch it.
No, it shows you stuff, but it's almost like because it shows so much just nonsense, it almost erases what you're watching in your brain. It's just because it's bombarding you with stuff, whether it's real or not. There was some with the trailer. They did go into detail a little bit on like what you're actually doing, because that was a lot of people's curiosity. It's like, okay, what is this game actually about? What do you do? Right. But they show the main character kind of traversing the world. There's humans that will battle you for your package that you're trying to move across whatever map, whatever distance.
Interesting. So there is combat.
There's combat, yeah. They showed in the trailer the main character, I forget his name, the actor who plays him, but he's actually punching. There's like a melee combat mechanism. There is a shooting involved for these weird, at least these like flashback scenes. That's where it's hard to tell with this game what's happening in reality and what's like not really happening, or a flashback or something. Then there's the whole like supernatural goopy monsters that come out of nowhere. Then there are like trans-dimensional monsters. Yeah. It's nuts, and there's like people with cool gold outfits every once in a while.
I saw that's one of the pre-order bonuses.
Yeah,
you get yourself a gold.
I was going to touch on that too. So on Tuesday, after we played some Extermination at my house, I went on PSN because I'll do this all the time where I have a backlog of games I need to play. But rather than do that, I'll go to the PSN store and see what else I can buy to further like extend that. So I loaded up, and what came up was this. Was the image of like these pre-order bonuses for Death Stranding. And I thought that's interesting. That's cool. I haven't like heard any of these, but it's dope. I took a picture and then just uploaded it or tweeted out to Wario64. That's just a cool Twitter page that like shows or always tweets a bunch of like video game deals and sometimes news. Yeah. And they picked it up. I guess they weren't aware of that either. So they tweeted it and kind of blew up. Tiny spark blew up the internet just because it was showing that this is maybe more of a sooner reality than we thought with this game coming out. And
when is the release date?
So the release date in that trailer they confirmed is November 8th. So it's this year, November 8th. Which is pretty nuts, right? Because this is the game we thought would never come out, if at all, but like 2020, 2021 is when we're kind of talking about this.
I didn't think 2021. I thought we were talking about Cyberpunk for 2021.
That's one that I could see, further down the road. I guess initially when people started talking about when this was revealed and it's a Kojima game, they go, oh, okay, he just takes super long with these games. This will be far out.
Yeah, he always has.
Right, and so this is a quick turnaround. So I kind of pulled out some actual dates for him when he was working on this. So it's confirmed, who knows if it'll be pushed back, but confirmed for November 8th this year. It was announced in E3 2016. So that's what, we're coming on E3 2019, so that's 3 years from them announcing it to actually putting it out there. To put that into context, so Final Fantasy VII, the remake, was announced at E3 2015. And we've yet to see anything on that game.
Wow.
But yeah. So they were able to make a game, put it out before anything Final Fantasy related has come to fruition. But yeah.
So my question then is going to be with this. So he's using the whatchamacallit engine.
It's like Decima engine. It's a Guerrilla Games engine that he's then tailoring for whatever he needs to make it for. And they've done Horizon, Zero Dawn,
which
and
was
the Killzone
huge
games. Yeah, and so I think because they had that open world kind of set up already, he can plug in his assets, create new assets, that kind of thing. But the gameplay looks very much like the last Metal Gear. Like I don't know who he took from his original team, how that worked, but they're able to kind of give off this vibe that's very Metal Gear. There's a point where you're hiding from these humans, and they have this alert sound that goes off that's very much like the Metal Gear alert sound, but like twisted, so it's still different. That was cool.
Had to do it.
Right. But then when he gets caught, it's funny. Norman Reedus is the actor. When he gets found out by the humans, he just kind of runs. Like, I don't know what you can really do to get away from these people. He's just running. And like at not very fast speed, but he also has this huge package on his back. So they're just kind of like, he's running in circles, just trying to like dodge him and stuff. There's a bike you can use.
Played a lot of not Left 4 Dead.
Last of Us or zombie related.
What's the
Days
one
Gone?
where it's multiplayer and it's like a murder versus
Oh yeah, like not the Freddy, but the
well,
Jason
Freddy's
one?
in it. He's in one of the characters in it. Jason's one of the characters in it.
Is there Death
Maybe
something? Death Stranding? No, that's it's something Death, right?
This is gonna kill me. I would know it if I didn't need it right this second.
I know what you're talking about. I forget the name of that too.
Yeah, I mean that's what when you actually watch people that are good at playing it, like that's what they do is they just run around circles around the killer while everyone else on the map gets stuff done.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean that was a huge deal for them to kind of announce that, and the fact that it's happening this year too. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'm pretty stoked. To see that.
Dead by Daylight.
There you go. Yeah, I know there was a dead thing in that.
That's crazy.
So there wasn't really a news article to pull up from that, but I did pull up from Kotaku's Jason Schreier. He reiterates on the fact that he confirms that sure enough that Death Stranding is coming out November 8th. This is before the reveal. But also, he has some insight on The Last of Us 2. We kind of talked about that last time. So he mentions that he's heard that The Last of Us 2 was planned for a 2019 release, but he recently heard from a person familiar with goings-on at Sony.
Who said this?
This is Jason Schreier.
Oh, okay. I was like, why the fuck is Kojima spoiling somebody else's?
I don't know, but I heard Last of Us 2 is not ready. No, yeah. So Jason Schreier of Kotaku, who leaks stuff all the time, and he's a really well-known.
He's the leak guy. Used to be a plumber. Terrible. Got fired. Hired at Kotaku.
Someone's leaking more than when it started. But he's a
He only plumbed with drills.
Yeah. So, anyways, he just kind of, it's a little blurb. He says The Last of Us 2 he was hearing that it was 2019 release date planned, but it's actually been pushed back to early 2020, likely February. And Ghost of Tsushima will follow in the next few months, with the PlayStation 5 likely launching next fall. These are rumors tied to that Death Stranding announcement. But anyways, it just kind of puts that into context because they have a couple of exclusives coming out pretty soon.
Sure.
But yeah. So some of these games coming out sooner than we thought.
That's surprising. This is gonna be a cool game. It's gonna be really. It is strange to me though that Kojima takes so long to make these games, and now that we have Kojima off the leash, he's made it faster than ever.
Like, it's very strange. You're right. It's very strange,
and it does make me wonder. Like, maybe this will be shorter, which is okay because I imagine short for a Kojima game is still at least 8 hours.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with him kind of dialing it back a little bit so that we can actually finish this in a normal amount of time. Like, I don't need this huge, crazy, epic thing he does, which I like those, but then it does mean that they go further out. At the same time, that brings me to a thought where it's like, I don't know if I really needed this that soon. I was fine with it going maybe a year from now, that kind of thing. But I'm not mad at it,
Well, it's also a good time for it. They're going to be out in time for Christmas.
Right.
This is going to be the big Christmas game. This is going to be, which also makes me wonder about, I'd be curious then about the maturity of it, because if you are going for a Christmas launch, you're going for mom, dad, grandma, grandpa buying games for the kids. What's this going to be rated?
I haven't seen any info on that yet. I think the last Metal Gears I don't think they were M. I really don't. Like, at least
I think they were M.
Were they? I'm going to...
He swears and looks at titties a lot.
I think they can still get away with the teen, though, with that kind of thing. So was it Metal Gear 5? Was the last one he worked on? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Metal Gear 5.
So 2015, yeah.
I mean, there's I'm not sure it counts as spoilers for a game that's this old. Metal Gear Solid 4, there was a scene at the end that was like a war crime.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah.
How would I Google this thing? I'm sure I can find what's the ESRB? Yeah.
There you go. ESRB. Get a better website.
So it was him. You're right.
So, I mean, but this isn't Metal Gear Solid, so he's no longer tied to that.
This isn't, but it's very similar kind of things happening.
Yeah.
At least in that last trailer, to where I don't know. I pulled up the Metal Gear Solid V, Phantom Pain. Some of the flags on that getting it a mature rating was blood and gore, intense violence, sexual themes, strong language. I could see the same things with the new game, but maybe no sexual themes. I don't know. I don't know what constitutes that as far as the ESRB goes. But I would say it's not impossible for them to do an M. But although is their target audience the general public? Because these games are so his other previous games are so weird. It's like he kind of makes a niche thing on his own, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's a friggin' artist with a budget. Yeah. So I really don't know. I don't see himself limiting himself.
Right.
But yeah, the only thing that just makes me think that is it's so damn close to Christmas.
Yeah.
So that'll be.
I wonder too the deal with Sony, because they locked him in pretty quickly after he left. Is it not Kojima? The previous developer he was locked in with had a bad relationship with, Konami. When he left them, they locked him down pretty quickly and seemed to give him a blank check, just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But I imagine, like, is there a reality where it's like, okay, we want to give you this huge budget, but we do need a date in mind, you know?
Yeah, and that absolutely could be. Yeah, that's such a perfect get for Sony, because you know they've been wanting Kojima.
Oh yeah,
for as long as he's been on the scene.
I'm sure.
That is.
I mean, some of those earlier games, the Metal Gear games, they were, I don't know if they were PS exclusive, like PlayStation exclusive, but they launched there. They certainly like became popular on the early PlayStation consoles. But
yeah, I know Metal Gear Solid 1 was, I think 2 came to Xbox, I think. I don't know. It's a very confusing timeline that I don't know very well.
Eventually there's like GameCube and Xbox, you're right, where they all kind of split off.